アリーナの方へお迎えください。あちらの階段空いておりますので、あちらどうぞご利用ください。
Can we dance in the moonlight, hold hands if the mood's right, make plans to the sunrise and sleep till noon. I'll take you to the beach, get our toes wet and leave after sunset. And I would do it all again, cause I don't want my day to end with always running in circles, trying to make up my mind. Should I ask you? I'm too scared to ask, but I'll probably ask you this time. Spent a couple of hours, okay, a couple of days, trying to choose where I wanna take you and rehearsing what I'm gonna say. Cause I have been planning for quite a long while, been asking your friends how to best make you smile. I've been cooped up in this
じゃじゃーん、じゃじゃじゃん、誰が来るかな、誰が来るかな、予想する。言うと思った。いきます、せーの。こういう感じ。メッセージやった。ミキせーの、ドン。見てるね、今日は。ミキに見せてくるわ。今から行くよ。また5時に会おうってずっと言ってたで。ジョンが5時に会おうって言ってた。
I don't wanna make my bed, I'll save up all my energy. Instead you take up all the energy I have inside, and I can't find a way to just ignore it. And I can't really take it anymore, cause I can't stop you from running around through my mind. Stop running, never will. I'll take some melatonin pills this time, cause I just wanna sleep tonight. Yeah, I just wanna sleep. But lately I've been sleeping way too much, cause baby I've been dreaming about us, and I can't help but wish that all my dreams. テンション上がる。ありがとうございます。食べてない、そうそうそう。ありがとうございます。はい、ありがとうございます。チョコ見せて。ちゃんちゃんちゃん。あがりさんと怖すぎるわ。どうも。はい、また来年もよろしくお願いします。やり落としよう。
かつお節が踊ってます。なんかさ、なんかこの人気のアイドルたちどんな点数を送ってくるんやろな、こ
ここのフェンスが好き。
明日見るわ。
そうやね、まだ見れるタイミングあるから。
これいいな、2日間でいいかもしれない。
それな。マジで疲れた。無理。動けない。
Let's go, grab a cup of coffee, pour it over ice, take it for a walk while we talk about our lives. I just wanna spend some quality time, some quality time. And I don't need a gift, I don't need to know your sign, and we don't need to do something you don't like. I just wanna spend some quality time, some quality time. But no one ever really gets it. I swear I got the best intentions, 'cause I'm not really good at saying words, but we can find a way to make them work. What's your favorite kind of movie? It doesn't really matter to me. Sometimes I do like the words, just tell me what I can do to keep you mine. Yeah, I've been trying to make it, so would you just take my
第何弾目それ V 何 V3 分4いきます。分4いきます。マージョン1マージョン2これはもう次もう書いてある。はい書いてある。マージョン3マージョン3バージョン4バージョン4いいよ。まだまだ近づいてる。結構いいよ。結構いい感じ。
So just tell me how I can make you wanna be mine. Tell me what I can try to love you the way you do. So can I just take your hand? Let's go. Grab a cup of coffee, pour it over ice, take it for a walk while we talk about our lives. I just wanna spend some quality time, some quality time. And I don't need a gift, I don't need to know your sign, and we don't need to do something. I just wanna spend some quality time, some quality time.
すまし汁と白味噌汁と欲しいな。でもちょっと学生感あるからな。あ、眠たい眠たい。ここでもいけんの？マジ？
何が
If it feels good, let me know what's on your mind. I'll make it real good. Yeah, girl, I'ma take my time. Then I fold you up. Oh, it tastes so sweet, just like ambrosia.
When you take off your cool and your masquerade and let me bring back the groove when the passion fade, we can get a room by the Palisades with a view, hit a view of that Cali grade. Ayy, feel like Ghostface Killer with the way he's spitting. Blue cream on my baby, I got crazy vision. Your mom visit, but she know she gon' be babysitting. Said you got to make another from the way he hitting. Think I'm kidding, she forgetting what the dick do. Start a movie that we know we ain't gon' get through. On a boat with ambrosia on the menu. Treating every night like a flight I attend to. Zoom, up and away. Looking stunning in your shades like we come from the bay. Moonlight is at the stage when I'm running the play. A short stay holiday, got it coming your way. Yeah.
ご案内します。飛行機の重量バランス
She that we don't operate